A lot of us are taught how to earn money, save money, but seldom are we actually taught how to spend. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to live rich, especially as a broke millennial. So, stay tuned and find out. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikki Sujadi. I talk about relatable content such as finance and career topics to you millennials. So if you like these kind of topics, do consider subscribing because that is what this channel is going to be about. Today, I want to talk about spending. Well, I talked a lot about savings already, and now I want to touch a bit more on spending. Well, you must be wondering, how are you going to live rich when you're broke, especially as a millennial when you pretty much don't have a lot of money in your bank account? Well, there is one important concept that I will be basing this video on, and that is to spend extravagantly on the things you love and cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. And I'm gonna repeat it again. To spend extravagantly on the things you love and cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. This is a concept by Rami Sethi. He wrote a book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And I came across this video on Google Talks, which I would recommend. I'll link it right here. I'm gonna break down this principle into two parts. To spend extravagantly on the things you love and to cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. So let's jump into the first one. How do you actually spend extravagantly on the things you love? I want to ask you two questions that might help you answer this question. And the first question is to think about how your rich life will be like. And I want you to be very specific in this. And the most common answer to this question is to do what I want when I want it. Then I ask you, what do you want to do? For me, when I think about this, I was like, yeah, I just want to be rich. How does my rich life look like? Okay. And this means like the day-to-day basis a bit. Like, maybe not having to worry about buying coffee. Because a lot of times, financial advisors will be, okay, cut costs on the coffee. Don't spend that $3. But if you really value the coffee and that's what you really love, then spend that. Another thing is, for me personally, is I want to order food without worrying about the price tag in the menu. So I want to make sure that I can order anything I want in the menu without having to worry about money. So really just take a step back and envision how your rich life will be like. What you love to spend your money on. So the next question is that you really want to ask yourself, what do you love to spend your money on? What have you spent in the past 2 weeks or past month that have given you joy and happiness that you really love and say that that is the most well-spent money you've ever spent? The answer to this question is in fact your money dial. So money dial is something that we all intuitively have. It's something that just gives you joy whenever you buy these things. You don't even need to explain why, and it probably will be very hard to explain why, right? One major example is that I see a lot of sneakerheads buying sneakers. I couldn't understand why they like sneakers, but they know that that is what they love. That is their money dial. Sneakers is their money dial. It's not my money dial because I don't love it. I will be questioning, why would I want to buy and spend so much money on this? Money dial for me would be like, for example, spending on a trip to snowboard. Right? That will cost a lot of money, sometimes even just $1,000 for like a few days. And people will just be like, you gotta be out of your mind. I can travel to, I don't know, Europe maybe for this, but I just love the sport and I would spend that amount of money even though it makes no sense. That is your money dial. You intuitively know which stuff you like. And only you will know. So you have to be very, very honest and brutally honest with yourself. Now, moving on to the second part. The second part is to cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. And so it's a bit of a give and take. You spend money on the things you love, and so you have to really cut costs on the things you don't so that you can really afford it. You can't just have everything. And this is actually a bit of a gray area. A lot of times, people make us think that we need this stuff and gives us the illusion that this is the stuff we need if we are rich. For example, having a private yacht, having a first-class ticket to travel, having the 5-star hotel whenever you travel. This is like this luxurious and the rich life that we sort of have an illusion of whenever we imagine a millionaire lifestyle. But just really be brutally honest with yourself on the things you don't care about. Because to be fair with you, if you were to ask me about sports car like Ferrari and all that, I gotta say it looks cool, but do I really care about it that much? It most likely not. To cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Because we can sometimes be influenced by the media and the people we see in social media on what the rich life would be like. And so you have to be really honest with yourself that there are some things that you don't care about, that you can just don't have to spend any money or just cut the cost mercilessly, right? For example, if I think that I don't really like coffee that much and I just need the coffee for caffeine, then I don't have to spend $10 on an expensive cup of coffee, where else I can just make an instant cup of coffee, right? If that's the thing that you don't care about, then just do it. You don't have to keep spending outside to buy outside if you don't really care about it. Another thing is like having a big mansion or like a sports car, Ferrari car. Those are the things that we envision a rich life would be like. But be true to yourself. Do you really care about the big houses, or do you just care about the status it brings? Because it most likely is the latter. We most likely just like the idea of it rather than having it. So the key point to this video is to be brutally honest with yourself and find out what you really love and what you really don't. Because once you find that out, you can then spend extravagantly on the things you love and cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. Even if you don't have much money, I can still go out and spend on food because that is how I envision my rich life. And instead, I wouldn't spend on things like sneakers or like expensive clothing that I don't truly care about. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you find value from this video, I really do appreciate it if you give a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you like more of this content, do subscribe to it, hit the notification bell for more of this, and do share it with your friends. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.